In this video, we will learn about how to create the sketch by using Autodesk Fusion 360. So here, this length is 50 and here directly we cannot draw this. So let us try to draw the bottom portion first. Then let's try to make this top portion later. And here this distance is 50 and the total horizontal distance is 200. So let's try to make a connection line here. Later we will change it as construction line. Let's start the sketch in Fusion 360. So before sketching, make sure you are going to save that. So let's click save and rename the file as experiment 1b. Click on save. Click on create sketch and select the top plane. And here make sure whenever you are drawing, at least one point should be on the origin so that it will be easy to constrain. So let's start from here. So this, let me consider it as origin point. So in the diagram, the origin is here. It's not going to affect either the origin is going to be here or here. Let me consider the origin here. So from here, the vertical distance is 50. So from here, the distance, then draw the horizontal line for approximate length, then vertical line, then horizontal line, then incline, horizontal, incline, then connect this. So whenever the shade becomes blue, it represents that the area is enclosed, it is not open curve. So let's try to provide the dimension. So here this dimension is 50 and this is 30, this height is 50. So let's try to give the dimension. Type the D for providing dimension. So this is 50 and this is 50. And from here to here, the dimension is 30. And from here to here, the dimension is 30. So you can see here, this is 30, this is 30, the overall distance is 50, and the entire length is 200. So here, this length is 200. Okay. So here, this one, you can make it as equal command. So you can, instead of providing dimensions, you can use the constraints. So in a sketch, as far as possible, try to use the constraint so that the number of dimensions can be reduced. So here, let me go to constraint and select the equal constraint so that this one and this one is equal. At the same time, this line and this line is equal. Okay. And let's try to provide the check over here. So any one dimension to fix this line. So for that, let me type D and select the dimension as 50. So it is saying that it is over constraint. So let me make sure this line is horizontal. So let's check it out that this line is horizontal. Okay. And let's try to make sure this one is vertical. Yeah, it is vertical, horizontal. Okay. So only this line distance is not proper. So let's try to make the distance between these two is correct only. Okay. Let's try to draw the above portion first. Then we will try to come back into this. So here there is a circle. So that circle is at a height of 70 from this horizontal line. So let's try to draw the circle. So a circle which is of diameter 60. So let's change the diameter as 60. And then one more circle let us try to draw whose radius is 60. So we can draw that diameter as 120. So let's draw another circle with the same center. So the diameter is 120. So let's dimension the diameter as 120. Then let's try to draw two lines from here and let's try to apply the tangent constraint. So from here, let's try to draw a line into this curve. And from here, let's try to draw a line into this one and apply the tangent constraint. So this is the tangent constraint. Apply the tangent constraint between the line and the circle, between the line and the circle. And let's try to provide this height from this horizontal line. So it is 70. So let me make this line as a construction line. To change any line as construction line, so select that line, right click over it. So here let me select this line, right click and change it as construction line. Since the already existing command is active, so this menu is not open. Okay, so make sure whenever you're moving from one command to another command, press the escape button so that that previous command is not active. So click on the construction so that this becomes the construction line. Now from this center point to this construction line is 70. So let's type the D command for dimension. So between this center and this construction, it is 70. And let's try to delete this one. So in order to delete this particular portion, use the trim command. So go to modify set of tools and select trim and select this portion. So it says that some of the constraint is removed. Okay. So in order to make the constraint proper, what we can do is let's try to draw a construction line from this center to this midpoint. And let's try to make this line vertical. So this line, let's try to make it as vertical. Now you can see everything is proper now. Okay. Then change this line as construction line. Now this line is still under not fully constrained. So what you can do is you can make this line and this line is symmetrical with respect to this one. So apply the symmetrical constraint of this one and this one with respect to this one. So if error is existing, then try to delete the constraints over there or some line so that if you redraw it, the lines will apply properly. So let's try to draw one more time from here. Let me try to draw a line and here. So in this case, let me make sure this line is horizontal. Okay. And let's try to make this line and this line symmetrical with respect to this one. So let's try to apply the symmetry between these two with respect to this one. Now you can see all the lines are in full black color. It represents that the sketch is a fully constrained sketch. Now let's try to come out of the sketcher window by clicking the finish sketch and click on the home button to see the three-dimensional view. Now give extrude and select this. Give the distance as 10 so that you will get the three-dimensional object. So once you have created the three-dimensional object, click on save. So you can create a new version. Otherwise, you just select user save and give OK. Now our sketch is completed and we have created a 3D object from the sketch. Thanks for watching this video.